Welcome to another episode of Neon Radio. I'm Reece.
And this is Dan.
This week we're doing The Phantom Thread. Renowned dressmaker Reynold Woodcock's life is interrupted by a young woman named Alma who becomes his lover and muse.
Just noticed. Why do we always look at each other after we do that?
I don't know. It's just our thing now, isn't it? It's kind of like, we're like, ooh, guess what? This movie's happening. Yeah. Paul Thomas Anderson film.
Mate, Paul Thomas Anderson is a master filmmaker. I'm going to say that right now.
Legend.
Yeah.
Legend. And another legend in this movie
starts with D, same name as me.
Mr. Daniel Day-Lewis.
That's right, man. And I feel sort of sad because he's retired from acting.
This is his final film.
Yeah.
Phantom Thread, back in 2017 this came out. I remember watching this little movie at the Dendy Cinemas in Newtown at a very small screen and hardly anyone in the cinema, and then walking out being like, oh my God, life's changed.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, and actually yesterday was my first watching.
This is your first viewing of it?
Yeah, it is.
That's cool.
Is watching a word? It is.
I'm sure.
I think viewing
it definitely is a word, watching. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was watching something.
Yeah, that's right. But look, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and I could have watched Daniel Day-Lewis act 24/7.
He's amazing in it. Like any movie Daniel Day-Lewis is in, he really embodies the character and lives the character to begin with. So he actually went off and worked with some really big dressmakers for like a couple of years and learnt how to sew and was making like recreating Balenciaga dresses and stuff.
Yeah, man. He's
crazy.
He's an out there man.
Yeah, like we now have our own segment on Daniel Day-Lewis Weekly, which is like telling us more about how crazy the method acting is of Daniel Day-Lewis. But in this here, he is such a jerk. The character is the biggest jerk.
He sort of reminds me of E sometimes.
That's what I was...
Of everyone.
I was so scared. I'm watching this movie and I'm like, why do I relate?
Yeah, man. It's easily relatable because pretty much, would you say he's selfish?
He's a narcissist.
Yeah, he's a narcissist.
He is selfish. He's a selfish man. All he cares about is what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And you see it and he's like... He just but I understand things like the scraping of the butter on the bread, things like that would just send me haywire.
Yeah, you gotta watch this because we can't sort of give too much away. But he's he's
short fuse.
He's short fuse. He's a perfectionist.
Yeah,
he's an artist, and I think a lot of those traits relate to
others.
Yeah,
but in simple, this is the thing. Reynolds Woodcock is like a larger than life version of someone that has those traits.
Yep.
So we he's like the Kanye of in a really weird way. He's kind of like the Kanye of dressmakers in the 50s.
Yeah.
Pretty kind of.
Yeah. I know what you're saying there.
Yeah, but if you see it, he's just got these small traits that everyone has that not everyone has all of them, but they have specific ones from him.
Yep.
And it kind of was scary watching a character that was such a ding-dong that actually I could relate to in ways.
Yeah, and I'll have to admit, I chuckled through this movie. Just the stupid things that he does.
Yeah,
well, not stupid, it's cruel.
It's just cruel, yeah. And you're like,
and
oh my God.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
It's just rough.
Yeah.
I will say this, something I didn't say on the podcast. I had told my girlfriend that I was like, yeah, I do relate to this character. And she was like, oh. She was definitely questionable.
Did she break up with you after that?
She was definitely very had this moment that she was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. About hearing that.
Yeah.
And the things that you relate to him. And I can see why.
Yeah. Because deep down, everyone has these
little things.
Thoughts and mannerisms that can relate to Daniel Day-Lewis.
And that annoy
character.
people. And
Yeah.
Moving on to the cinematography for this film.
Man, it's good. And a fun fact, Paul Thomas Anderson had no cinematographer in this movie, and it was him and his team that created the look for this. And I must say, it is up there as one of my favourite films, and yours.
Yeah.
As just beautiful to watch.
Probably it's crazy. I didn't remember how good the movie looked. And rewatching it, I was like, oh, this is in my top 5 best looking movies ever.
Yeah, it's done.
It's so gorgeous, and they're using it's all done on film, 35mm. They're using these old lenses, and the lenses like pull the contrast out. And give like a haze, like all the whites are hazed.
Yeah, it's really, really, really nice.
Yeah.
It's. I sort of related it to the Joker, as in for production design and cinematography. It was shot before Joker, obviously, but seeing production design and cinematography and acting come together in a force like this, it's a masterpiece.
See, I even had a little bit of like a feeling towards things like Schindler's List.
Yeah, man.
That was kind of like the when they go back into color in Schindler's List. I think there's a moment with color in Schindler's List, if I remember.
The red girl, or the girl in the red dress.
I think that kind of has that same type of look. If these were black and white, if this was a black and white film, I think it would look a lot like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think the cinematography for this is gorgeous, and being without a actual cinematographer, only using the crew. He said he's not a technical person. Paul Thomas Anderson doesn't know much about the technical side. So a lot of his crew just shot the movie as well. So it doesn't have a exact cinematographer.
Yeah, well, there's no
which
title.
is so different.
Yeah.
Such a weird way to do things.
Yeah, but it works, and every shot is a painting, if you want to put it that way. Every frame's a painting.
Speaking of painting, the way that they did the production design in this film, so intricate. The amount of different wallpapers they chose and they went through, and obviously because it's a film about dresses, the decisions on making the dresses, having actual people come in that were dressmakers as the extras. Just the decisions, I think, that of a masterful director.
Yeah.
You know, like no one else would take those ideas and be like, yeah, let's go for that.
It's done very, very well. Very well.
And Paul Thomas Anderson as a director is
genius.
Top notch.
He's a genius. Look at his body of work. Yeah,
this movie,
from Boogie Nights to this.
This is his second most expensive film. It's $35 million. That is nuts.
It's church change in the movie world.
In the movie world, that's peanuts. So having a movie like this come out at $35 million is insanity. It's crazy. I think most Tarantino films, like the older ones, are $60 million.
Yeah.
And that's stuff like Pulp Fiction. Crazy. Oh, I think Pulp Fiction was cheaper, a lot cheaper. But stuff that was just after that was like $60 million.
Yeah.
So this is crazy. $35 million is really cheap.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane.
Wrapping up our thoughts though.
Yeah.
What is your final thoughts on
Final
Phantom
thoughts
Thread?
On the Phantom Thread is a masterpiece. Probably one of Paul Thomas Anderson's best films.
Yeah.
It's up there. Look, they're all great. Don't get me wrong. Seeing Daniel Day-Lewis act, I could just do it for hours and end. It's like I didn't want it to finish.
This makes me want to watch Gangs in New York.
Right now. We're gonna add that to the list.
Yeah.
You can just appreciate what goes into making a film, not a movie. I put this in the film category.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm giving this a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I think that the acting, the cinematography, the choices by the director, the decision to make such a unique story with such strong characters. We never talked about them, but Alma and Cyril, the female actresses in this,
so good,
fantastic. And
that was a held back F-bomb there.
Oh no, no! I was going for the word fantastic.
Yeah.
But it definitely was. They are fantastic in the film. I can't stress enough how much what they bring to it, especially Cyril. I think.
Cyril. Seeing Cyril
as a sister figure for
and Reynolds,
the sister of his.
Yeah, seeing them two, face off each other is just so good.
Yeah, very tactful with Reynolds.
Yeah.
But I think this movie is an artwork. It's a piece of art. I would say it's a masterpiece, but I feel weird calling it a masterpiece in a lot of ways. I feel like it's a piece of art.
Yeah, it's a subtle masterpiece.
Yeah, it's just it actually, in a weird way, it's kind of like the Mona Lisa of movies. Like, it's a beautiful piece, but it shouldn't be so much in the spotlight as what it is. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. I'm going to give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. That's a really weird way to end it, but 8.5 out of 10.
Go watch it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yep.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and to leave us a comment and follow us on Neon Radio Reviews at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the socials. Yeah.
Cool.
And
that's
bring
it
us
from
out.
us. Yeah.
Bring us out, Dan.